remembered forever.
No, you will be forgotten.
Ghost of Yotei has been out for a week now and it has sold 6 million copies so far. In whatever world these clowns live in. Cause according to them it had already sold over 1 million copies in just 24 hours. And the game journals and the activists really ran with that until the rumors got shot down. On top of that, there has been absolutely no confirmation of the record-breaking sales or any type of celebratory post from Sony or Sucker Punch. Like it's been 8 days now. And they're real quiet, but more on that in a bit. The only posts I've seen online are from brain-dead dumbasses who get convinced by fancy-looking images saying exactly what they want to hear. Just for fun, I asked 3 people online that what's your source, and no, your ass doesn't count. 2 of them didn't even reply, and 1 of them said this after some back and forth. Just go look it up anywhere, you bozo. Of course, why didn't I think of that? This just shows how desperate they are for this game to succeed. I mean, they're gaslighting themselves into believing that it's a massive success. But anyways, there are some new numbers according to Alinea Analytics, and I'd rather listen to them since they are at least someone credible than a random X account. But still, Sony and Sucker Punch haven't confirmed anything yet, so take it all with a grain of salt. Ghost of Yotei has sold over 1.6 million copies through to consumers, 2 million plus when we include selling to retailers, translating into nearly $100 million in revenue. It's selling a bit slower than Ghost of Tsushima, which shifted 2 million copies in 3 days. And just look at how they try to defend the sales number for activists of Yotei right away. But it's worth noting that Ghost of Tsushima launched when the PS4 had an installed base of about 110 million compared to PS5's current 80 million-ish, and during the height of the lockdown-induced gaming boost. I don't fully disagree, but they're just coping and we all know it. Ghost of Tsushima was a brand new IP. It kicked off the franchise and had to make a name for itself and capture an audience all on its own from the ground up. Why does no one factor that in? Ghost of Yotei, on the other hand, already had the massive advantage of carrying the Ghost name because Tsushima was a huge success. People loved it and were eagerly waiting for the next one. Yet it took like 8 days for Yotei to make what Tsushima made in just 3, and that is a huge difference. Now just to be clear, no, it's not flopping. This is still a financial hit. The devs actually managed to make this game on a budget similar to Tsushima's. It might have costed around 100 million if you factor in the marketing, but still, that deserves some credit. Now, why is Ghost of Yotei not breaking any records? Why isn't it one of the fastest selling PlayStation games like Tsushima was? I'm not gonna pin this on the boycott. I don't give a fuck about the political views of the devs or whoever. It certainly is a contributing factor, but personally I don't think that it's the reason behind the underwhelming sales numbers. Because there are rumors flying around that the sales numbers in Japan aren't that impressive either, and they're not putting any more money into the marketing of this game, and it kinda makes sense. I remember a few days back Ghost of Yotei was everywhere, but post-launch they've been real quiet. Now first of all, I'm not here to tell you to like or dislike this game. These are just my opinions. If you like it, that's perfectly fine, and do share your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about the game? But let's be real here. This game is not the greatest thing ever that the Shields are trying so hard to paint it as. It's mediocre at best, with the gameplay and visuals being its only redeeming qualities, because the game looks freaking beautiful. The gameplay is solid, and that's why it breaks my heart, because this could have been something special. But instead it's just wasted potential. That's why no one's talking about the story or the characters or anything of that sort. You know, the stuff that actually matters. In my opinion, there are 2 essential things that make or break a game: the gameplay and the story. Everything else, the visuals, the world design, the details, everything comes later. And Ghost of Yotei is only standing on one pillar. Meanwhile, the Shields are losing their minds over how you can start campfires and cook fish, as if Red Dead 2 didn't do that 7 years ago. Back then, these same people complained that Red Dead was way too realistic. Then you've got IGN gushing over how NPCs keep up with you, as if that's something groundbreaking. Ghost of Tsushima did that too, and if I'm not wrong, Assassin's Creed Origins did it like 8 years ago. They even point out how the foxes cheer Atsu up when she cuts bamboo, like that somehow matters. All of this should be the cherry on top of a great game. But when the story falls flat, none of this matters. If I don't care about Atsu, I don't want to sit there playing a blacksmithing minigame. However, I would definitely chop some firewood as Arthur Morgan. But anyhow, what did you really expect? They already set this game to underperform when they brought in the Whaleguard writers and replaced Jin with whatever this is. And just by the way, the lead writer John Dambrow now works at Bethesda as a senior quest designer. How many fan favorite games are these people gonna ruin? How many dead franchises will it take for these studios to stop hiring these morons? I genuinely feel bad for anyone still waiting for Elder Scrolls 6. But anyhow, I've talked about Ghost of Yotei on this channel before, and I predicted that it won't live up to Ghost of Tsushima. I just didn't expect it to fall behind financially as well. I actually thought that this game would outsell Tsushima easily. But here we are. The thing is, Ghost of Tsushima explored unique themes like honor, sacrifice, duty, and revolved around the internal conflict of Jin coming to terms with becoming the ghost. I predicted that Yotei would just be another girl boss revenge quest, and guess what? That's exactly what it is. It's a game that prioritizes the message over literally everything else. I went in with an open mind. Believe me, I did. I tried to ignore the forced messaging, but it's so on the nose that you can't help but just I mean, I've played The Last of Us 2 for f***'s sakes, and that was tolerable. But in this game, paired with bad dialogue, it's literally unbearable at times. I mean, just look at this.
That's a woman. The Yotei 6 here.
Then there's another huge problem. The entire premise of the first game was about becoming the ghost and paying the price for it. In this game, however, everything is handed to Atsu on a plate. Like right from the start, she's the ghost. At the beginning, she's already found the snake. She just walks in through the front door of the tavern where the snake and his men are drinking and then sets fire to it. Like no strategy, no stealth, just pure badassery. She then takes out a couple of Snake's goons and then fights the man himself. At the end, they both get stabbed and she passes out, but then she wakes up, and this is how it goes.
She died. Oh no.
A ghost.
Oh, this is just stupid. They literally just randomly start saying these words. And now that I think about it, there's one more thing. After she kills the snake and the title drops, she tells her horse that it's been a long time, implying that she just came back to Ezo. So how did she find the snake instantly in one night? Weren't the Yotei 6 supposed to be a big deal or something? And that's not all. The game starts with a little animated cutscene showing that Atsu's been fighting ever since her family died. She's not a samurai and there's no code of honor holding her back or anything like that. So in those 16-ish years of non-stop fighting and war, she never came across a smoke bomb or poison darts or poison smoke bombs or anything remotely tactical. She should already have some tools or techniques that allow her to take down her enemies in a stealthy and strategic way without even being seen. Imagine if she relied on something like that to weaken the snake first and then finish the job walking away without a scratch like a pure badass, while someone watching from afar called her Onryo or the ghost or whatever. Then she meets a dual katana master who tells her how he fought Saito and lost his arm. Okay, so you mean to tell me that this so-called master failed to defeat Saito, but Atsu with 2 days of bamboo cutting training will?
Yeah, because men are weak and incompetent and women are stronger and smarter, you stupid little man.
Oh yeah, the message. These people so desperately want to make women equal to men that they literally just turn them into men. The way she behaves, moves and talks is so masculine that you just slap a beard on that face and it's literally a dude. This just goes to show that how insecure these writers are about femininity, the actual traits that make a female character unique. With Atsu, they could have explored the revenge is bad trope with nuance and depth, you know, giving her some real emotions or something, but her entire personality is just revenge. They could have even showed Neil Cuckman how to write a revenge story that actually works. It could have even outdone Ghost of Tsushima, cause let's be honest, Jin Sakai wasn't the most interesting character either. But with what I've seen so far, Atsu with her subpar story is even more monotone. Not to mention the fact that Erika just can't act and sucks all the life out of the character. The Japanese voice actress is doing an infinitely better job though, and deserves some credit. But still, the character of Atsu just doesn't work. And of course, what else could you expect from these writers? This game just fails to hook me. I tried it over at my friends and after a while, I just decided that it's not for me. I'm trying to catch up with the story on YouTube, but even that's a struggle. If the story doesn't make me care, the game just feels like a chore. They spent 5 years making this. They could have made an infinitely better game in half the time if they just continued with Jin's story. But anyways, I'll say this. Ghost of Yotei is much better than Assassin's Creed Shadows, but far worse than Ghost of Tsushima. If you've played either of those and you're still on the fence, I'd recommend waiting for a sale. I'll be making a video soon breaking down the story and the characters with spoilers of course, if I can actually sit through the cutscenes. but I'll leave it there for now. Do let me know what are your thoughts about Ghost of Yotei in the comments down below. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.